As I mentioned before, it will take a lot to get to strike three, but that is sort of reinforcing the rules that we have established. So consequences occur when the rules are not being followed. Bullying of any kind will not be tolerated in my classroom, and cheating will also not be tolerated. Now, of course, if there is an instance of cheating, I will, of course, talk with the student one-on-one, make sure that they understand the content, that sort of thing, but cheating will not be tolerated. I want my students to do their best. I want them to do their own work. But again, I also know that some students may only want the good grade, but really don't understand it. So I'll be sure to take the time to really talk with the students and make sure that they understand what is being asked of them. Okay, slide 8. So this is our typical class schedule. We usually start with morning work, which can be anywhere from a short reading assignment to a short math assignment, that sort of thing. It can also be some computer time on iReady, which is that program that sort of meets their academic need where they're at. And then, of course, we have reading or ELA time, bathroom break, and specials, which is the pull out into PE, computer lab, art, music, or library. And then we have math, we have lunch, bathroom break and recess, science and social studies, study hall, and then we clean up and go home. This is the floor plan. So the circles represent the teacher and I. So my classroom, which I'll talk about in a minute, is a co-teaching classroom. So I have another teacher who's a special ed teacher that works with me in the classroom. So students are sort of laid out in a clump or a cluster. There's 3 clusters. They work with that cluster, they move in that cluster, that sort of thing, sort of to keep them safe. And they're set in kind of 2 or 3 groups so that we can do a lot of shoulder partner work, a lot of group partners, that sort of thing. So that's why they're laid out the way they are. But there's plenty of room for the teacher and I to move around and assist as needed. Record keeping systems. So grades are submitted via report card 4 times a year, as well as progress reports. However, they can be requested by parents at any time. Tests will be on Fridays unless otherwise communicated, and all assignments will be uploaded to Schoology for students who have missed class. And again, we will talk about Schoology. Instructions for that will be sent home. Student records are kept in the office, but grades are kept on my school computer for access at any time. And of course, special education records or IEPs are kept in the SPED office. And then ESL records are kept in the ESL office. So if you need copies of those at any time, let me know. So differentiation instruction, the core differentiation is the relationship between teachers and students, and that's McCarthy in 2015. So differentiation is, of course, reaching those students of varying learning levels. You know, we know you've got kinesthetic or hands-on learners, auditory, which is the listening, visual, which they need to see something. So everyone learns differently. I mean, we learn differently. So my number one goal is to establish a relationship with my students to make sure that they know that I believe in them, I want to be there for them, and I want them to trust me to know that I will push them, I will help them, I will do whatever they need. I will also use the following in my lessons because of the kinesthetic and the visual and the auditory. So we'll have videos, PowerPoints, hands-on activities, repetition, and my favorite is the I do, we do, you do method, which it's a model that helps us understand the importance of explicitly teaching and supporting students before expecting them to complete a task on their own. That's Killian 2015. So basically, I will present the topic at hand, we will do it together, and then they will do it. That way I can kind of see where everyone's at, if I need to repeat the lesson, that sort of thing. Students with an IEP or classified as gifted or have an ESL as well, English as a second language, didn't put that in there, sorry. I will basically be going off their accommodated list on their IEP or on their document because that's the special ed teacher's job is to put that on there. And of course, we will be collaborating. However, once I get to know my students, they will have planned and preferential seating. They can have extended time, read aloud. Again, anything that's permitted on their IEP and more. They can have limited choices, different spelling words. I mean, anything that I can do to sort of kind of scale or scaffold their learning, you know, so if they're struggling with the big words, we'll start with some smaller words and then work to the big words, that sort of thing. But I just want to get to know each of my students and figure out a way to help them in the classroom. And again, I have a co-teach model. So the teacher, the special ed teacher, not